Today's video, we're going to talk about audience insights from PMAX campaigns and how you can use them, and they're great for YouTube ad campaigns and powering demand gen campaigns through your Google Ads account, okay? So if you're running a PMAX campaign for yourself right now, basically you're sitting on a gold mine worth of data that you can use to run YouTube ads, demand gen ads, and making a lot of money from it. Why? Because the insights on your PMAX campaign hold valuable insights that you can use elsewhere in your marketing and advertising, okay? Used to be back in the day, you had to pay big money to get these kind of insights that you get through your PMAX campaign for free that you would need to run any kind of display advertising for your business, okay? So, and when we're talking about insights, we're talking about a person likes fast food, a person is remodeling their house, that ends up being a customer. You get insights as to the traits, hobbies, things that people are also in market to buy before they buy a product from your PMAX campaign. That information helps you narrow down the general public into a certain audience that's highly statistically likely to buy from you if you just now get in front of them with your product and interrupt them. So you don't have to necessarily only make money off of running ads on search engines where people are already raising their hands saying, I'm ready and wanting to buy your product. You can expand what you're making 10 times more in terms of making 10 times as many sales through running ads through your Google Ads account than what you could have started with just regular search ads and shopping ads by itself. So with that said, I'm going to explain how this is done. I'm going to give you a couple examples of different campaigns we ran using this kind of data so you understand how to replicate this for yourself. So it's not just going to be some pie in the sky information that you can't actually use to actually start making money for your business. And then with that, everything that you ultimately practically need to go out there and actually do it. So with that said, getting into the content, it used to be that you used to be able to get free audience insights, in-market insights, affinity segments from Google under your audience, in the settings of your ad account for free. They would tell you this information. It was beautiful. You used to be able to just go ahead and put a tracking tag on your website. And then with that, Google will look at all the people visiting your website, as well as the people that, if you had goals set up, people that converted into a customer or a lead, they would then tell you their traits, their hobbies, and all this, so you could use to build advertising campaigns. Naturally, someone at Google was smart enough to say, a lot of people that are using this data, a lot of times they aren't even actually advertising. This is way too good. Way too many people are using it. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the same information, but it's going to be only within a PMAX campaign. So you've got to spend money not just on ads to get the data that you want to be able to use, that you can use basically to run ads on other channels, on Facebook, whatever. But also, you have to run a PMAX campaign specifically in order to get this data, which most people don't want to run PMAX campaigns because they're not profitable outside of running a PMAX campaign for a shopping campaign, shopping ad placement that you want to run. Because normally, a feed-only PMAX campaign will get you more sales through the shopping channel on Google search than you will get with a regular shopping campaign. And that still holds true. So they found a clever way to mix, like they normally do, to mix in something that people genuinely like and get good results with, and mix in the thing that nobody wants in with it, so you have to buy that too. And that's what they've done with this data. Very smart, but very devious, obviously, as well at the same time. So you have to, but with that, the insights that Google gives you are so valuable, it would literally be worth it for you to run a PMAX campaign just to get the data that you could use to run ads on other channels and on other platforms. There is, though, a Sideway to get similar data. You can go to Axicom and take your customer list to them, or give them your pixel, and they can actually come back to you with similar insights as to, if you have a customer list of at least 10,000 people, you give them that list of customers, they're going to find all the different traits that line up between all those customers that match up the most commonly. Of that list, maybe 800 of them like fast food. Well, that's an insight that you can use to narrow down ads and create an audience to target on other platforms, on Facebook and whatnot. And they'll give you as much information on your customer base, the traits, their hobbies, all that stuff that they normally buy, that they also buy when they buy your product or service. And you can use that information to create advertising campaigns for yourself. Not just on, of course, online, but you could do offline campaigns, direct mail campaigns, whatever. So that's another way to get this data if you really didn't want to run a PMAX campaign to gather data for yourself. And you normally, if you couldn't run a PMAX campaign profitably, you're going to waste so much money just gathering the data on the customers that you get that it would be cheaper to go to Axicom and get that data that way. But if you could break even to get the data, well, obviously you would do that that is break even running a PMAX campaign. That data can then be very, very valuable to you in and itself to then now get ads running on other platforms that really would be profitable. So the way that this actually works is like this. You run a PMAX campaign. The data that's picked up to the PMAX campaign for the customers that you're getting, if you have your conversion tracking set up, will go into, then you can then use to go and create a custom segment under audiences in your Google Ads account. That custom segment, then you could then use to create a audience segment within a YouTube campaign that you want to run, or a demand gen campaign that you want to run. Demand gen campaign being what they used to call discovery ads, and what they also used to call, or what it is, Gmail ads, as well as ads that run on YouTube specifically. Which, by the way, these two, the reason why I bring these up and not display advertising campaigns is because I've talked about on other videos how the ads that really are profitable nowadays are YouTube ads and demand gen campaigns that just get your ads running on YouTube and Gmail, because there's very few bot traffic clicks in there. Whereas on Display Network, it's riddled with bot traffic. You can make money with it still, but there's less websites on the Display Network that work. And a lot of times you have to narrow it down to certain websites to get it to work, since so many websites on the Display Network are just 100% fake clicks, basically speaking. And Google could police this, and they don't enough. They do it a little bit. They do try to police it a little bit, but they don't police it enough. And Facebook ads, the reason why everybody's raved over Facebook ads so much in the past is because they police the bot traffic a lot. And when you buy an ad click, you're getting in front of a real person 90+% of the time. Well, YouTube ads and ads that run on Gmail are the same thing. So therefore, you could count on similar ROI potential on the two platforms, because it's a lot easier, obviously, to police bot traffic on a website you own than for Google to police it on a website they don't own but they run ads on. So with that said, okay, what you're going to do is when you create this custom segment to run advertising to, and you're going to use, when you use your insights from your PMAX campaign, that's literally under the Insights tab from within your campaign settings, you're going to combine segments until you get 2 million people or less to market to. Okay? Why 2 million? Why is that the secret number here? Because if you aren't narrowing your targeted audience that you're going to run your YouTube ads, your demand gen campaign ads at, you're probably just too broad to make any money. There's too much waste circulation, too many people you're getting, too many eyeballs you're getting in front of that aren't going to be able to buy from you, more than likely. Now, that could obviously be not true if you sell something that's truly remarkable and you're making money, but at least you should start out with a more defined audience like that starting out with. So, with that said, okay, you basically use your data in your PMAX campaign to find out the 3 or 4 or 5 traits that if you combined them, you basically got someone that's a home run prospect that if they saw your product, they would buy from you, or service. You want to add service in there. Okay, so I mentioned I was going to give you some examples on this video. So one example was for a mailbox company. We sold a mailbox. One of the things that we found out in that particular field or niche, business niche, is people normally buy a mailbox when they're already when they're remodeling their house. And that makes sense because if you think about it, if you're going to go ahead and do that, you probably already have in your mind a preconceived budget that you have to spend on remodeling your house or renovating your house. So if you could get in front of that person who's already got a budget in mind to renovate their house, well, then it's not that hard to sell them a mailbox, right? Because they're already looking to spend money and they have that 20 grand to spend on something. You're just now having to convince them that that's what you get a small piece of the 20 grand versus trying to sell somebody who doesn't have a budget carved out. Then they're going to say, well, can I afford it or not? And that's a totally different paradigm. The one thing that the insights are going to show you is what is the level of affinity on each insight that they give you. So you'll find out, like for instance, like with that example that I gave you, a person who's in market for home renovations, which is what we had there, was 4 times as likely to buy our product if they were searching for a mailbox, if they were also matching that insight, that they were also interested in or in market for home renovation, if you follow me. So when you stack these individual insights into a custom segment, that's how you're making it the odds more and more in your favor. The more of these insights you add into your custom segment that you power your campaigns from, that it gets to a point where it now becomes actually profitable or possible to run a profitable campaign for your business. So in the mailbox example, we had people that needed or that were in market for home renovation, meaning they had a budget. They've searched for a mailbox of some type in the recent past. Then on top of that, they're of a certain income, because that technically isn't related to a custom segment itself. They like shopping online a lot, which means they're going to be getting a lot of shit in their mailbox. And on top of that, they travel a lot, meaning they can't check their mail every day, so they need a bigger mailbox. So you can see how none of this, even though none of it aligns with somebody who wants our product directly, but when we combine these things in combination, all 4 of these things I just mentioned, you end up now with somebody that is 100 times more likely to buy our product now, if you can get in front of them, than the general member of the public, right? So that takes a 400 million possible audience size of which is the population of America, and brings it down to 4 million people. Now you got the 4 million most likely people to buy, okay? And that even 4 million is too much. You should try to get it under 2 million, like I said. But that's what you're going to ultimately do. You're going to use the insights to create a custom segment that then when you set up your YouTube or demand gen campaign that gets you on premium placements on Gmail and YouTube, that you can actually make money. 50% or more of what makes up being able to make and run a profitable YouTube or demand gen campaign is the audience list. If you get the audience list right, you can have an average ad, an average offer, and still make money, okay? But you still, though, have to have a decent ad that isn't terrible, and you got to have an offer itself. So if you have a really, really interesting product, you may be able to just show that product as is, and that's your offer per se. But most of you guys, particularly that are selling services, you got to come up with an offer. You got to be able to, like if you have a funeral home and you want to sell now services to somebody, you need to, and you're going to sell like pre-planning for funerals, where you can basically, you could package up a funeral casket and all this before you die. You could pick all that out and have it pre-arranged. You create your offer around that, and then you also create the offer around, we'll go to your home and give you a in-person consultation that shows you what the options are, which is different now than the other people that sell pre-planned funeral packages. Okay? So that's the type of thing where when I say offer, what I mean. And with an offer, you're making something that's not something that they've normally seen every day. If you have a really, really interesting product, just showing that to the prospect is good enough to get their attention at a high rate. Because the higher the click-through rate on your ad, the lower your cost per click. But if it's not all that interesting, you got to make it interesting by making an offer that surrounds that thing that'll work. Or let's say if you're a mortgage broker, you sell mortgages, guaranteed lowest rate, or we'll give you a $50 Outback Steakhouse gift card, or we'll give you $500 back on your mortgage cash for going and picking us to do your mortgage with us, or whatever. You make something interesting so that 1% of the people who see your ad click through your ad, because if you can get that, your cost per click is going to be super low, 10, 20, 30 cents a click, and then when you combine that with somebody who's highly likely to even just want to buy what you sell because they've met all the stars align with all the different traits that are on your custom segment, now you can actually start to make money. Okay? You obviously also have to have a good landing page to send them to most of the time. If it's a really interesting product, you just send them to the product page, but the product page still has to be to a certain level to convert well and all that. But those are the two main things that most people don't have and why they can't get YouTube / demand gen campaigns to even work in the first place and be profitable and pay for themselves. That is, pay for the cost of the ad spend and so forth. So if you do that, that's generally what it takes for them to make money. So, but with all that said, I do want to say, combining segments to get an audience of the best prospects to sell to, that's like 1 million of your best people out of the 400 million people in the US or wherever, is a great way to make money. But before you even do that, just know that if you could target your competitors who've been to your competitors' sites or are watching your competitors' YouTube channel, that's generally going to be the better bet, even than creating this custom segment using the insight data from your PMAX campaign. That plus people that are watching similar content. So if you're selling toolboxes, you want to target all the individual videos on YouTube about how to buy a toolbox, interesting toolboxes for sale, so on and so forth, because that's going to be actually more profitable. And you don't need to have them be the best prospect in the world if they're already looking at a product like yours and how to buy a product like yours on YouTube already. And then similar to that, remarketing. Either remarketing to customers that you already have to get them to buy another product, or if they've been to your site before, you already know they're in market for your product or service, and then you market to them again on YouTube, on Gmail, through these two different campaign types. You do all three of those things that I just mentioned before you go ahead and you create your custom segment. Why? Because it's even easier to get to work, and why make the job of making these ads work harder on yourselves than it needs to be. So anyway, audience insights from your PMAX campaigns, that's how you can use this information to make money for yourself. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you certainly should, as the information I'm providing you on this channel is coming from somebody who does ad strategy 40 hours a week as my sole job at my advertising firm, and the few dozen clients that we have to come up with strategy for in order to guarantee the results and get paid at our advertising firm, at our contingency advertising firm. So basically speaking, all the stuff that works as well as the stuff that doesn't work, I give to you on a silver platter on this channel, whereas 99% of the other information you find on YouTube and elsewhere about how to run ads successfully online is coming from somebody who doesn't actually run that many ads or at all. They try to sell you courses pretending like they do, but they really don't. So therefore, you want to subscribe to this channel if you're serious about making real money with ads, running ads for your business online. If you haven't seen my blog yet as well, you should also check that out. You can find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. If you like the channel, you're going to like the blog probably even more, as I have step-by-step advice on how to use specific strategies that are proven to make money for our clients at our firm, time and time again, with screenshots, with the whole shebang. So whereas the channel here is more so high-level tutorials. You can find step-by-step tutorials there, and you'll probably like those as well, and they'll be helpful for you as well. Beyond that, if you are looking for somebody to just do all the work for you to get you the results, running ads for your business and get sales and make profits from ads that you run online, this is what we do at our advertising firm, exactly. And we do not charge our clients fees until we can get them a certain minimum amount of results with their campaigns up front that we tell them up front that we can get. There's no catch other than we got to know we can get results on a campaign before we agree to take it on. But if you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me and my firm at guaranteedppc.com. Be happy to give you a free assessment and see if the possibility is there for you and to get your results on your campaign, and if so, how much. If you're not looking to work with an ad agency like mine, that's fine. However, if we've worked in your niche market before, we've also got ad templates that you can buy from us. That is, if we worked in your niche, and we've worked in over 100 plus niches in the last 10 years of running this advertising agency, you could take the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates, all of it that already work for your niche market, and then take those templates and just copy and paste everything into your account and get the same results that we're getting with none of the work, none of the money, none of the time it took for us to figure out exactly what works the best in your market. And many times we spent 7 figures to figure out how to even get to those level of results in your market. And as long as you're in a different geographic area than our client, there's no harm, no foul there to use the same thing that's winning in one market in your market. So anyway, if you're interested in those templates and what results we've got in your niche market as a result of that and what's available, you can also reach out to me at my firm. We got people using these templates to start whole other businesses, selling leads or selling product that people were selling in one country and selling in another, which is a great turnkey business idea. But anyway, if you want to know more about that, you can also reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com as well. I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.